I have not seen a single polyamory person, individual in therapy who has said that it has worked for them. They might say that this is my lifestyle I want to live. Please help me so that I feel calmer.
So they're trying it out but not settled.
It is
They're
not.
definitely
It is
not settled. Hello everyone, my name is Pranav Vashistha and this is the Gut Feel Show, a podcast on mental well-being where we invite guests from all walks of life and we discuss different aspects of well-being in their profession and in their life. Our today's guest is Dr. Arouba. We discussed about different aspects of mental health. हमने डिस्कस किया कैसे एनर्जी वैम्पायर्स आपकी लाइफ में आपको डैमेज कर रहे हैं. हमने डिस्कस किया कैसे आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं एनर्जी ड्रेन एंड हाउ जेन ज़ी इज़ गोइंग थ्रू डिफरेंट ट्रांजिशंस इन लाइफ एंड व्हाट आर द इम्पैक्ट्स ऑफ इट. बहुत सारे इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्वर्सेशंस हुए हैं अराउंड मेंटल हेल्थ एंड टुडेज जनरेशन एंड अराउंड रिलेशनशिप्स, मोनोगैमी and a lot of interesting things. Please keep watching till the end and subscribe us for more such interesting content. Hello and welcome to the Gut Feel Show. How are you doing?
I am doing very well, Pranav. How are you?
I'm good, very good, and looking forward to our conversation.
I'm excited.
So I would like to begin the conversation about relationships, and I want to speak about and listen to your opinion about emotional infidelity. It is being glorified at a lot of places. So what do you think about it? What are the consequences?
So first of all, we have to understand what emotional infidelity is. People are getting this wrong. They are combining two things. They feel just having an emotional support outside of your relationship means emotional infidelity, which is not true.
Okay.
But having an emotional connection outside of your relationship, which involves sexual tension or romantic tension, that is emotional infidelity.
Okay.
So if I just have a normal platonic relationship with somebody where I can open my heart, share things with them, that does not make it emotional infidelity. Now people who have that person in their life for romance, for their sexual health, but they have a conversation with somebody, maybe they would not act on it physically, but they're emotionally having conversation, deeper conversation about a lot of things in their life, casual and sexual and romantic and longing for each other, desire for each other. So that makes it emotional infidelity.
Okay.
Now, is this good? Absolutely not.
So how do people start getting into it? Like what leads into this? Is it an unstable mind in a relationship, or what is causing this kind of a movement in a relationship?
I guess lack of awareness how to be in a relationship in the beginning. What kind of conversations do you need to have? So when two people start a romantic relationship, there are a lot of hormones being released in that moment. But the important conversations are not made. Just say, for example, what is your thought process about politics, about religion, about family system, about sexual health, about education system? And then when you are living with that person, because commitments are made, marriages have happened, live-ins have happened, and now you're there and you feel it's a responsibility, but you don't have that connection there. And then you start looking for that connection outside.
So you step into it first and then later realize that this is the equation which is missing, and then you start looking outwards, maybe.
Yes.
But when also this is being glorified by Bollywood, by influencers, I'm sure it has bad consequences on the teenagers and the young population of India. What do you think about that?
If my mind feeds on anything, that is certainty. That is the reason we have been given 7 days in a week, 6 days in a month, so that my mind stays calmer. Now, if you want to be in a relationship where you are constantly thinking that what is happening, or am I cheating or not cheating, what is going to happen, it is just going to bring you anxiety. So the young minds who feel that, oh, it's an amazing thing to do, there's a book by Osho in which he writes, though Osho, we always consider that he was somebody who promoted polyamory and polygamy and stuff, but in that book he writes that our heart is like a sapling, so you have to put it at one place and nourish it, nurture it in order to make it a tree. But today I'm giving it to you, tomorrow I'm giving to somebody else, then somebody else. When is it going to become a tree? So your heart is not going to live its life to the fullest. It's always trying to make a connection. So that way it's not good. It's not good for any age. But then I always tell people that if it is working for you, it's working for you. We are no one to say but know that psychologically it is not healthy.
But it is not something to be generalized and for everyone to try, because it can backfire. It can create a lot of anxiety.
Absolutely.
And plus, a lot of research is telling that Gen Z is looking into polyamory and they are supporting it and sort of in favor of it. What is...
I don't think so, just Gen Z. I have millennials, and I have, who have been in polyamory relationships for a long time. So all I ask them is like, get your attachment style tested first, because most people who are in this primary, the person who starts the polyamory, most of the time they have avoidant attachment lifestyle, attachment style. So that makes them not want to build deeper connections because of fear of abandonment. So they keep giving little here, little here, little here, little here. And the person they choose, the first partner, the primary partner who is there. And then I happen to talk to them, and nobody has ever told me that we have clear conversations about their dating or security. It's basic. Polyamory has worked abroad because they do have a sense of secure attachment. You need to have sense of secure attachment a lot in order to be able to be in relationships with multiple people. Do you have that? Or are you doing it from the space of avoidant attachment style? Or are you doing it from the space of you hate being committed or being responsible? So it triggers if somebody asks you a question. So you need to ask yourself, what is the space you are coming from being in this polyamory? As far as my experience has been, I have not seen a single polyamory person, individual in therapy who has said that it has worked for them. They might say that this is my lifestyle I want to live. Please help me so that I feel calmer.
So they're trying it out, but not settled.
It is not.
Definitely
It is not.
settled.
Then again, as we spoke before, that it is a personal choice. I'm no one to say. Does it have any psychological benefits? Not at all. Maybe in the moment it is a thrill for a while. But tell me, like, every time you are trying to be in a relationship with a new person, when are you going to focus on your health and family and personal relationships and your career? There's a lot, we are in a world of technology. Things are pacing so faster. We have to keep up. Now, in that pace, I'm always investing in people, new people. That also will give me anxiety. It will also give me FOMO.
It'll keep you occupied, but rather than focusing on greater things, you're just occupied in doing this thing. And also, very interestingly, you mentioned what leads to insecure attachment. I want to understand what is the cause of that. Like, are there some reasons that people are in that situation?
There are different attachment styles, like anxious avoidant. There are these attachment styles, and they start from my early age, like in the first 7 years of my childhood. How my parents have shown their love and concern, what kind of relationships have I seen, what have I seen in the environment around me. That defines you, what kind of attachments I will develop with the world around me. If I have more fear of abandonment, mostly all the attachment styles do stem from fear of abandonment. But that fear of abandonment, an anxious attachment style person can show by clinginess, by crying, by wanting your attention. But the avoidant person would show it by avoiding you. They're different. So we have to see what kind of attachment. So I tell people, when two people get together, I'm like, kundali chodo, attachment style dekho apna.
So that can be tested by a psychologist.
Yes. There's a psychometry test for that. You can get it tested. Like when I began,
I think that is very important before any marriage.
It's like when I began my psychology career, and I was somewhere anxious avoidant. So the minute I will get anxious, I will avoid conflict. So that was a dangerous, attachment style to have. And it took me a lot of self-work to come out of that. When I will feel anxious, I will tell myself, okay, you're feeling anxious. Now you have to communicate with the other person. Tell the person you're feeling anxious. Now, why are you feeling anxious? It was like a babying yourself, reparenting yourself.
Because you got that awareness. You could observe yourself. Most of the time, we are not observing ourselves. We are just too consumed as the subject that we go with the flow. Whatever is coming, just let it be. I think what you're mentioning is like two sides of the spectrum. Like one is avoidance and one is attaching But we have to be somewhere in between, I guess.
See, there is this anxious, avoidant, insecure, and secure.
Okay.
Right? There can be different forms of attachment style. So you have to see what is yours,
Okay.
and then accordingly you work on that.
Okay.
And you have sometimes people.
What is a good attachment style?
Secure.
Secure. Like
Secure.
you have to anyways navigate yourself towards a secure attachment.
Yeah.
That is when you are in a stable relationship.
Yeah. That is when you stable relationship with yourself.
With yourself first.
Yeah.
Because that is why they say before getting into any relationship, first improve your own relationship with yourself.
There are 3 aspects we work with. We work on with people. Number 1 is relationship with your parents. You have to resolve it. You can choose not to be with them anymore, but you have to resolve it. Let go, acceptance, forgiveness karna padega. Second is relationship with yourself. You have to develop a healthy relationship, secure relationship with yourself. Then relationship with rejection. Because there is going to be abandonment and rejection. How do you deal with that? So these 3 are very important.
So when people are like this, to get into that awareness, because what you're talking about is something very few people have. People are bothered and stressed and anxious because this is happening unknowingly. This is something they realize, I think, very, very late in life, when the problems have maybe escalated to a very high level. So what do you have any suggestions for people? When can they start exploring this? Maybe during their dating period or something? Because see, this is something which is very important and should be a part of dating life also. Otherwise, you're starting wrong, and then you never know where you are leading yourself.
Absolutely. I always tell people there is no age as such. You should always, whenever you become aware of it, start working on yourself. But if the education becomes, accessible around teenage, that's a perfect age, because that is the time when you start developing crushes and start falling in love and get your heartbreaks, start choosing new partners. So if it is accessible that time, it's amazing. Okay, this is my attachment style. Now I have a tendency of choosing a person based on my anxiety, right? So we can definitely work on that.
So first of all, you get to know yourself, and then you understand the other person that you're getting in a relationship with, and then you build that bond further.
Yes.
Because most of the time in teenage, infatuation is happening, or people are just getting into a relationship impulsively and then falling apart.
Yeah, it's a lot of a hormone thrill. It's a lot of exploring.
It's not their fault also.
It's not. I ask parents when I work with teenagers. So if the parents tell me, they have never had a crush or they have never had a boyfriend or girlfriend, I tell them that how could you not notice it? It's not a good sign. It's not a healthy sign. Because that is the time when hormones are there, and that is the time also they are exploring independence, transitions. So उसमें अगर आप opposite sex की तरह या same gender की तरफ नहीं होते attract, you don't have that romantic attraction. So that means some part of your life you're suppressing. Some part is disassociated, numbed. That is why you're not. Whether you act on it or you don't act on it, that is secondary. Or somebody might get attracted to 10 people, you get attracted to 1 person. But that attraction has to be there. That's a phase of
Otherwise, in the peak of your time, you're suppressing something which might outburst later in life. And cause some kind of a problem.
And you might have been suppressing since your childhood. And then that shows.
That is when I think when someone gets to a problem, so maybe you start from the beginning.
Yes, we start from the beginning. It is not about, sometimes people are like, why always childhood? And I tell them that, we have to understand the background, because I have always believed we are out product of our past. And if I want to change who I am today, I need to understand my past. Where have I come from? Then only I will see that what mistakes I made, what lessons I learned, what have I been carrying for so long, what do I need to let go of. When I do that, then I will be able to, make changes in present and make a better future. Otherwise, I'll keep repeating it.
Understood. And also, like opposites attract. Opposites attract is something we all know. Like extroverts and introverts are mostly always attracted towards each other. What do you think about that? Why is that happening? And are there any consequences to that? And how can one manage this situation?
It's an amazing thing that can happen, provided 2 people have an understanding about it. Because initially, if I'm a talker, I want a listener. So an extrovert gets attracted to an introvert. But at some point, they also want to hear. They also want to listen to other person. The other person is not talking. And then that is the problem. That is the time when problem problems happen. But I want to tell people, you are not born extrovert or introvert. You happen to take this personality from your environment. So can you change it? Absolutely. You know, I have seen clients who have been completely introverted at home. When they go to college and they become this different personality, right? So it comes a lot from your childhood also, how you have been raised, what kind of conversations around you, school कैसा था, neighbors कैसे थे, relatives कैसे हैं, you know, all of that does give an insight into all of this. And then you have to say, can you change it? Absolutely. I once upon a time I was an introvert, then I was extremely extrovert. Now today I feel really blessed to be this introverted extrovert.
Like you can control this.
Yeah, I can be an introvert. Sometimes some people look at me and they say, she's so arrogant, she hardly talks, she's so quiet. Some people will say, oh, wherever she goes, she will spread light.
Spread light.
So you can do that according to, why do you have to, I'm an introvert.
I can relate to this because I have also transitioned from being an introvert to an extrovert over time with experiences and with the ambition that I had in life. I had no choice, because being an introvert, then the ambitions were something I was losing on. So I trained myself to move out of the introvert bubble and have that kind of a flexibility. I still mostly will be an introvert, but I can convert to an extrovert when needed.
Exactly.
I think that is what you're talking about.
And it's a great compliment in relationship. For example, Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. Barack Obama was an extroverted person. He was a public person. He was going meeting people. And Michelle Obama took the back seat and she was handling everything in the background. And now the roles have reversed. Right now, the Barack Obama has become the backbone, and Michelle is becoming the face. Right. It's just that you need to understand what the other person is bringing on the table. If I have a partner who is introvert, maybe they are more logical than me. Maybe they are more reasonable. They are good with choosing the right insurance policy or getting the child in the good education system. And I am good with socializing, making sure that everything is a complement. How is it disadvantage?
So maybe the right way is that you learn when who should be leading.
Yes, define roles sometimes. Yeah.
Because this is also used in corporates where they make a team of a good cop and a bad cop. Because they complement very well and they're the best leaders together. One alone is not doing good.
No, we are social animals. We are born out of a womb and not out of a cell. That is what I tell everybody. We need people around us. So if you think that you are a loner and you will do everything, it is going to create anxiety around you because you're not used to. Because when you were conceived inside a human being. So much of warmth and comfort and safety. So that is what you feel of human beings around you.
I think that is a wrong perception that people build over time, that I'm a loner, and they believe in that perception so strong that they don't come out of it. So maybe that is the reason. A lot of this, when I'm listening to you, I link it back to like सारा कुछ बचपन से link हो रहा है. शुरू से कहीं ना कहीं से problem, like for 7 years, like you mentioned. बहुत सारी चीजें school से भी trigger होती हैं. And I personally believe, and I've read a lot about it, and I'm still researching about it. The school education system has always missed on the emotional intelligence part. It has primarily been an IQ-driven system for jobs. So is that also impacting the learning of a person? Or because we are the byproduct of our schools. So we are coming out without any awareness or knowledge about how to be in a good relationship.
How to be in a good relationship, how to understand your emotions, how to express them. And just not school, television. I have right now a client who's 36-year-old is having a hard time getting out of a relationship. The person who doesn't want to be in a relationship with this person. So he's having difficulty in getting. Why? Because the movies have created a thing in him that, if you are a person you love the most, if they leave you, your life is over, and you drink and listen to music. So, and he knows now, but it is so damn difficult for him to let go of that. So he's been working on that. So it's not just your primary caretakers. It is around you. Everything. It can be your grandparents. It can be that neighbor who was close to you. It can be that nanny who took care of you. So it doesn't come only on your parents what you have learned, and that is what I tell people. It's a system, an ecosystem.
So maybe all this is being fed to your subconscious mind over time.
It becomes the foundation.
And it pops out at a different time, and then it is difficult to trace it back. Because you never know the culprit. जब ये problem हो जाती है तब नहीं पता कहाँ से हुआ है. Because what I can relate to this, that when we are watching television, maybe we are in a good situation or a good state of mind. तो हम सारी उससे बुरी चीजें नहीं कंसीव कर रहे हैं. We are just conceiving the good part of it, but our subconscious is absorbing that
everything.
the wrong part as well.
Yeah.
So when we are in a bad situation, these wrong ideas pop out of those things
What
that we have
collective
observed.
knowledge we have inside of us. Yes.
So maybe that is where the television or any digital media that we are consuming right now, it is becoming risky.
I tell people that, you have seen households jahan pe TV is on almost for 12 hours.
Yeah.
It's a background noise going on. I tell them, you think you are not consuming it. You are consuming it. It is sitting somewhere. And tomorrow when some similar conversation will happen, it will trigger. Oh, you remember that, crime patrol happened there. And how can you trust this person? And you're like, why am I thinking like this? Subconscious mind is there to protect me. Its job is to keep all the information stored for my survival. And it will give me those, if I walk alone, it will tell me, you remember usme khoon hua tha, chalo wapas. And I'm like, no, this is safe. And it's like, no, chalo wapas. So people feel that we should get into mindless conversations, watch mindless reels and content, and
a lot of Netflix
all of
is
that.
not moderated. We don't know what we are watching. There's a lot of thing is like we're just consuming content, and the content that is more attractive is negative content.
And the worst thing, when do they watch it? Before going to sleep, when your hypnotic window is open.
So you are feeding it directly to your subconscious mind. It's just going to the wrong window.
Generally, during the day, my conscious is so alert. It has a filter there. It is like, oh, this should go inside, this should not go inside. This I should, it tries to. But when that hypnotic window is on, when I'm in that trance, relaxation mode, watching, everything is going in because my guards are not up. So I tell people, watch content, very, very, very mindfully. I don't have TV at home. I don't have newspaper coming at home. I read news only which I want to read. And we do have that blessing today. We can choose what to read, who to follow. Sometimes I follow somebody because I like that content, and then I see that they have been putting, nonsensical content according to me. I unfollow them immediately. There is no point of.
I think that kind of awareness is much more needed than ever, because social media is spreading all around, and we need to know what type of content we should be watching. Because there's everything. There's cringe content going around. There is mindless content going around. We think that it is just a time pass, but maybe it will backfire somewhere down the line.
It will definitely backfire. Yes.
So it's, I think we are living in a complicated world now. We need to understand and be more mindful and aware.
We need to more
than ever.
We need to be mindful. We need to have the priorities right. What do I want? What do I want? If I want to listen to a good podcast, I put it in early in the morning when I'm exercising. I put it that time. The minute I start doing my breathing and meditation, I shut it. I'm like, no, now I don't want any more information. I just want to process my information which I have. So, is it a task? It is absolutely. But is it necessary? It is very important. You don't have a choice for that.
Great. It was amazing talking to you. Thank you for your insights.
Thank you so much, Pranav.
You're most welcome. Hi, thank you for watching till the end. I hope you really liked the video. Please do comment below and tell us your feedback, and also tell us the guests that you would like to have on the show. We will definitely try and invite them and have on the show to discuss different aspects of well-being. Also, please do not forget to like, subscribe and share, because that helps us to reach out to more and more people to have the impact that we are working for. Thank you very much.